You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Classified documents reveal Trump Pentagon committed Murderous senator, based on an article by Sarah K. Murderous. Trump's boat war is a murderous fraud. The facts, briefly. Sen. Tim Kaine says he reviewed Trump's signed execute order, the legal opinion, and strike notifications for the Caribbean boat attacks. His conclusion is blunt: the government has gone beyond its own stated targeting rules, killed people not involved in narco-trafficking, spent more than $20 million, and produced no measurable reduction in drug flow into the United States. The power is at the top. This is not a rogue battlefield mistake. The power sits with the president, the Pentagon, and the legal machinery that dressed the operation up as policy. Trump approved the criteria. The military carried them out. The Office of Legal Counsel provided the paper shield. That is the chain of responsibility. Anything less is choreography designed to spread blame downward and dissolve it into bureaucracy. Kaine's letter matters because it pierces the usual fog. He is not guessing about intent. He is pointing to the actual directive. When the state signs an execution order, classifies the target list, and then claims public virtue after the fact, the issue is not confusion. It is premeditated distance between the decision-maker and the dead. Drug war theater. Updated for the RH. The administration says the strikes stopped 98.2% of drugs arriving by sea. No evidence has been produced. The Pentagon has not proved it. DHS has not proved it. Trump has not proved it. And the reporting cited by Kaine says cocaine flow has not changed. That is the call I treating spectacle as strategy. Blow up boats, produce dramatic footage, announce a victory, and hope nobody notices that traffickers adapt. Routes change, and the underlying market remains. The policy is not measured by results because results would expose it as expensive violence with a press release attached. Civilian deaths are not a side effect here. Kaine says the targeting criteria likely killed civilians, and that the people hit were murder victims. That language is severe because the facts are severe. If the government cannot show lawful targeting and cannot show impact on drug supply, then the dead are not evidence of enforcement. They are evidence of impunity. The administration's instinct is familiar. Classify the list, limit the briefing, control the frame, and let the public absorb the language of security while the state does what it wants. That is how political violence gets normalized in plain sight. First it is operations, then pressure, then success. The bodies remain, but they are pushed out of the story. Kaine's real target. Kaine is doing more than objecting to a bad operation. He is exposing how executive power now uses counter-drug rhetoric to authorize lethal force without accountability, while the institutions around Trump provide the procedural cover. That is not a policy failure in the abstract. It is a governing method. The democratic response should not be to demand clean oversight for a murder campaign. The relevant lesson is simpler: an operation that cannot justify its targets, cannot prove its effect, and persists at enormous cost is not reformable into legitimacy. It should be stopped and dismantled. The pattern. This story is what authoritarian politics looks like when it does not yet need tanks in the street. It uses classification to hide targets, legal memos to launder violence, inflated success claims to stupefy the public, and brute executive discretion to keep the machine moving. The object is not just to kill. It is to make killing look like administration. That is the pattern of state cruelty wrapped in managerial language, with the president at the center and everyone else arranged to absorb the blast radius. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of John. Thanks for listening.